Hi, I'm Tim Roble and welcome to another episode of Adventure Athlete. Today I'm here to talk to you about your quick start guide on your OneWheel. I ordered mine on Cyber Monday and I received it Friday about 3:30 from FedEx. So it takes about a week to get here. Took a little bit to process it. While I was doing that, I went ahead and downloaded the app and got familiar with what's going on with the app. So it shows up Friday 3:30, so I know from previous electric vehicles I want to get this thing on the charger and get the battery topped off as soon as possible. So I get it out of the box, I get it up on the workbench, I plug it in and get it charging, and then I open up the app. The app recognized the board and synced with the board, and then there was a firmware update to do. So I did that. That took about 5 minutes. And then we went back to connecting and it showed battery level and turning lights on and off on the vehicle. So you know, there is a front light that when you're going forward, right down here, when you're going forward turns white, and when you're going the opposite way, because you can stop and transverse the other way, and that light turns red. So you got a red light in the back and a white light in the front that actually does a pretty good job of illuminating. So for me, I let this charge overnight. It took about an hour and a half and it was topped off, but it was already dark out. So as you see this thing sitting on the ground, you take it off the charger, it's charged, the charger will show a green light, your battery op will show 100% on the battery. So you come out here, you basically depress this button, and that's it, it's ready to go. So you mount up your foot, and it says to wear skate shoes, but I'm wearing my Solomon's Speedcross 4s, and they work out just fine on it. Now this is a pressure sensitive pad right here. That means you have to have equal pressure or pressure on those pads for this thing to start. So you can see we're kind of rocked down here. Now you just rock yourself forward, and they say to kind of do this on a maybe have somebody help you, but I didn't have a problem on this. Now this thing is highly maneuverable and very intuitive to ride. Like myself, I'm an analyst, and I think about strategy and what do I need to do to make this thing work. And really, it's just about getting on it and going for a ride. I started off very slow, coming down a driveway and back in the street, and then I started working on my maneuverability, slow speed, going up a driveway, down a driveway, and being able to come in and make a U-turn. After I got that planted, the next thing to do was to figure out how to stop and get off. So my initial stops and get offs were just jumping off, because how you get off of this thing is you have to raise either a heel or a toe off the pressure pad and then rock it back. I didn't do that exactly super smooth, but it's first time back on the board today. But that's basically it. If you can do that or jump off the board, which is what I was doing in the beginning, that's it. Started coming in here and working on doing a quick U-turn, and I can actually do a U-turn now right on the sidewalk and stay on the sidewalk. I did ride it out in the dirt. It did super well. What makes this thing different than most skateboards, I have a 1600 watt, I forgot what the name of it is, Mototech I think it is, was my first electric skateboard, and I could barely make, I don't think I could do a U-turn out in the street, and we got a pretty wide street, but I had a great time on that board, and that was good, and it's what I could afford at the time. My next one was a Carbon GT, and that board carves really well. I got the dual kit with the big wheels and the skateboard wheels, but I'm an off-road guy. I'm gonna ride it in sand and dirt and stuff like that. So wanted that. But after riding that this summer in Santa Monica, the maneuverability is good and stability is very good on it. But it's more like riding a Hayabusa motorcycle than riding a trials bike. Now, they say top speed on this is 22 miles an hour. It has a weight rating of 275 pounds, which is pretty awesome. The OneWheel, it seems to take about 20 pounds of pressure. I had a low tire pressure gauge that I put on it, and it maxed out over 15. So I know it's over 15, but I couldn't get anything to register on my high pressure gauge, which starts at 20. So I'm going to say 20 psi is what the wheel is. Don't quote me on that. My initial thoughts for this little thing is I am super stoked on it. I mean, I had a blast yesterday. I rode for 30 minutes, but it was just right out here in the front yard, doing a loop, coming up, coming around here, turning, going down, turning, and then I started working on doing a turn on the sidewalk, and then turn on the sidewalk. I rode out in front of the house for 30 minutes, and I thought, holy smokes, I'm worn out. My legs were sore from, you know, crouching and just putting input into it. But don't be afraid of this one wheel concept. If you're thinking about getting a skateboard, that thing's like trying to steer a battleship, versus this thing will do a loop and just you know, right here on itself. You can spin it around if you're good enough. But that's my initial thoughts. My first day, get you going, starting to ride. Learn how to get up and balance on it. Ride slow, work on maneuvering it, and once you get those little parameters down, you know, I took a blast up the street. I got to be honest, my top speed so far was only 15 miles an hour. That was plenty fast for me. On my skateboards, you know, 15 to 20 miles an hour starts to get a little fast. I think you could go faster, more stable in the beginning, probably on both, but in the beginning on the skateboard versus the one wheel. But the one wheel, I would not hesitate to ride in very slow things, like even at a walking pace, because your maneuverability is unbelievable and your stability is unbelievable on this. I still really don't fully understand how everything works in it, and I don't care. That's probably the first time I've never cared how something works. I'll look into it later, but what I care about is I'm super passionate about this thing, and it's so fun to ride that it makes you want to get up in the morning and ride it again. So that's going to be it for now, my initial startup and review on it. I'll do a few more videos on this as I take it off-road and take it on a road trip with me, and see how it does with the car charger and all of that type of stuff, and with the fender installed. That's another thing that I'll say is this tire is super sticky. It actually picks up a lot of gravel and throws it up on the rocks. So I would suggest getting a fender if you can afford it. I did get the bumpers. I'm probably not going to need the bumpers. I thought maybe I would do this and go out and crash a little bit. Normally I wear a helmet with it just for this demonstration purpose. I got out here and just kind of went for a video instead of my safety equipment. I didn't wear pads on my wrist, or elbow pads, knee pads, anything like that. I think it could be a good idea for if you're getting started. For myself, I'm used to crashing, used to falling from mountain bikes and motorcycles, so I kind of know how to fall. That doesn't mean that I don't break something when I fall, but yeah, pads, if it's going to be your first time checking something out. Once again, I'm 50 years old, and I think this is the coolest new, I don't want to call it a toy, I'm going to call it a transportation device. I could see you using this as full-on transportation. If you lived in the city and had a 4-mile commute or something to work, you could jump on this and have a blast. Anyway, that's going to be it for now. Once again, thank you guys for watching. You got any comments, questions, hit me up down below in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Tim Roble, and I'll catch you here next time.